Again, the guy who custom-made his own dark MAGA hat that he wears to opine in the Oval Office with the president who he spent $270 million to elect thinks I'm just too partisan.
All right, so Jon Stewart invited Elon Musk to appear on his show, and for a second, it actually looked like it might happen. But instead of taking him up on it, Musk decided to back out on X. Because, of course, he did. He claimed that Stewart is too biased, which is hilarious coming from a guy who spends half his time boosting right-wing conspiracy theories and banning people who hurt his feelings. It's yet another example of Musk acting like he's all about free speech and debate until he's actually challenged. Today, we're going to break down why Musk is afraid of real conversations, how Jon Stewart handled his response, and why this whole situation perfectly sums up Musk's fragile ego. But before we get into it, make sure to like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any updates like this.
Anyway, we had some critiques about Doge after the show. Governor Musk tweeted, or X'd, I guess, that he would like to come on here and talk to me as long as the show airs unedited. So I thought about it, and after a prayerful week with my family, well, a family, it's a family hall pass situation. You don't want to know. You don't want to know, and quite frankly, I don't want to know. But after thinking about his offer, I thought, hey, that's actually how the in-studio interviews normally air. Is unedited, so sure. We'd be delighted. As a matter of fact, let me sweeten or unsweeten the pot. The interview can be 15 minutes, it can be an hour, it can be 2 hours, whatever. I'll be honest, I don't think this network makes any other programming. So we can do whatever the we want as long as we wrap before the new season of South Park, which comes out like May or June of 2026. So I am game. I think it'll be a very interesting conversation. But then I checked X again, and I saw another tweet from Elon because you can't not. And he then said, after saying I'd like to come on, Jon Stewart cannot be trusted, and that I am a propagandist, and you give me too little credit. And that I am not bipartisan.
So let's talk about Elon Musk's pattern of running away from actual conversations. This is the same guy who constantly complains about the mainstream media not being fair to him, yet he's the first one to dodge any real debate. When he was invited on The Daily Show, he could have taken the chance to defend himself, push his ideas, or even challenge Stewart. Instead, he went on X and made it all about bias, as if that's an excuse to avoid answering basic questions. And let's be real. Musk isn't afraid of bias. He's afraid of accountability. If the conversation isn't controlled by his fanboys or moderated by people who agree with him, he just doesn't want to have it. That's why he'll go on Joe Rogan's podcast to ramble about woke mind virus nonsense, but won't sit down with someone who might actually push back. It's actually kind of funny because Musk built his brand on being the smartest guy in the room. This tech genius, the innovator, the man with all the answers. But the moment he has to face someone who won't just nod along and tell him he's brilliant, suddenly he's nowhere to be found. And yet, his fans will still act like he's the ultimate champion of free speech and open dialogue.
Again, the guy who custom-made his own dark MAGA hat that he wears to opine in the Oval Office with the president who he spent $270 million to elect thinks I'm just too partisan. I'm really not sure what he thinks bipartisan means, but it's generally not, I support Donald Trump and also Germany's AfD party. That's not bipartisan. That's just the same shit. So I guess what I would say is this. Look, Elon, I do have some criticisms about Doge. I support, in general, the idea of efficiency and delivering better services to the American public in cheaper and more efficient ways. And if you want to come on and talk about it on the show, great. If you don't want to, sure. But can we just drop the pretense that you won't do it because I don't measure up to the standards of neutral discourse that you demand and display at all times? Because quite frankly, that's bullshit. You know it, I know it. Bullshit.
At the end of the day, this is just another example of Elon Musk proving he's all talk. He had the chance to sit down with Jon Stewart, make his case, and defend himself in a fair but challenging conversation. But instead, he did what he always does, ran to X, played the victim, and acted like the world is out to get him. It's honestly kind of pathetic when you think about it. This is the same guy who constantly whines about the mainstream media being too biased, but then turns around and refuses to engage with anyone who isn't already on his side. It's not about fairness, and it's definitely not about free speech. It's about control. Musk only wants conversations where he gets to be the smartest guy in the room. And if there's even a chance he might get challenged, he backs out and throws a tantrum. Meanwhile, Jon Stewart? He doesn't need Musk on his show. If anything, this whole situation just makes Stewart look even better, while Musk looks weak and insecure. Because at the end of the day, what does it say about someone who claims to be a visionary, a genius, and a free speech warrior, but can't even handle a simple interview? But what do you think? Was Musk ever going to show up, or was this just his way of dodging a conversation he didn't want to have? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.